Severance is back for Season 2, one of the most anticipated shows of the year, and the cast that was missed a lot. What is the unexpected Britt Lower's passion? How John Turturro and Christopher Walken's connection feels so real? And why Adam Scott almost wasn't cast as a lead? Get all the answers in the video. Zach Cherry as Dylan George. This man is everywhere, and we mean everywhere. Since 2015, the actor has been stealing scenes in many hit shows such as Living with Yourself and You, but he also made a mark on big screen. Zach starred in blockbusters like Spider-Man: Homecoming and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And now he returns to the Dylan George character on Severance, whose life outside of work is still a mystery. Creator of the show Dan Erickson and director Ben Stiller asked Zach how much backstory he wanted to know, and he said not a ton.
We only see him at work. He doesn't know who he is. So I was like, well, I don't really need to know until that becomes relevant.
Outside of Severance, the 37-year-old keeps busy with exciting projects. Gamers, take note, Cherry's dived into the Fallout universe with a role in the post-apocalyptic series based on the legendary video game franchise. And yes, he's a fan who's played many of the games. Recently, he's also starred in the upcoming comedy All Night Wrong. When he's not acting, Cherry flexes his comedic chops live on stage. He's a regular at the fully improvised comedy show at Caveat in New York's Lower East Side. Sharing the stage with talents like Jeff Hiller and Connor Ratliff, Cherry keeps audiences roaring every Sunday night. And for a sweeter side, the actor co-hosts The Great American Baking Show, bringing his humor to the world of competitive pastries. Zach humbly admitted that one of the most favorite things about his job is the obvious one, tasting food.
Even the stuff the judges are kind of harsh on, I usually try it and I'm like, that would be the best thing I ever made.
Now the actor lives in the Bushwick neighborhood of Brooklyn with his wife of almost 2 years. Annabella Cherry is 30 and teaches English as a second language at Hunter College. The couple is pet parents to their adopted 2-year-old rescue dog, Shrek. Britt Lower as Helly Riggs. Before Severance, she lit up screens in Unforgettable Man-Seeking Woman and Casual. She even popped up in hits like American Horror Stories and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But her jaw-dropping role as Helly Riggs became a huge twist in her career. The character Britt herself calls the bravest person she's ever encountered on a page.
As myself, someone who was such a rule follower growing up, it was exciting to jump into the shoes of someone who does not care what anyone thinks about her.
The actress has an upcoming TV film called Until the Wedding. She also recently starred in the romance thriller Darkest Miriam and the dramedy The Shallow Tale of a Writer Who Decided to Write About a Serial Killer alongside Steve Buscemi. Off-screen, Britt stands out as well. She's obsessed with the circus. It's been a lifelong passion. As a teen, she and her mom ran a face painting business, giving her a backstage pass to the circus world. And recently, she made her dream come true.
I played a character named Steven, who was a paranormal detective and played the ukulele when she was feeling scared. It was part of this circus in St. Louis called Circus Flora.
Lower adores long road trips all over the country with her trailer.
When we finished filming Season 1 of Severance, I let go of 90% of my belongings and moved into this trailer.
She named it The Egg and calls it her second home. From Hollywood sets to circus rings and nomad lifestyle, she's proving she can do it all. Tramell Tillman as Seth Milchick. Before the Apple TV hit series, the actor was known for his small-screen roles in Dietland and Godfather of Harlem, and was fresh off a Broadway run in The Great Society. Tillman was on the hunt for his next project when the Severance opportunity appeared. It was like that turning point actors look forward to their entire careers, especially when they've been acting since childhood.
I was 10 years old, and my mom was asked to be in a church play, and they needed somebody to play her son. And what better person to play her son than her son?
Playing Seth Milchick on Severance has changed Tramell's life, but the character himself wasn't an easy one. The 39-year-old actor compared him to a duck on water, very calm, but there's always something going on underneath.
This was a guy who was extremely measured and controlled, so I did a lot of breathing exercises. I spent many hours meditating.
Now, besides the TV show, Tillman is set to appear in the upcoming Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, the 8th installment of the franchise. And now we move on to the Living Legends section. John Turturro as Irving Bailiff and Christopher Walken as Burt Goodman. Their on-screen chemistry is undeniable, but there's a long history of working together behind it. They might have met at a Yale School of Drama party in the 80s, though neither is certain, the actors told the New York Times. In the 90s, these two co-starred in the satire Search and Destroy. Since then, Turturro has made Walken a go-to collaborator, casting him in his movies like Illuminata, Romance and Cigarettes, and the Jesus roles. The role of Bert in Severance isn't something one would usually associate with Christopher Walken. The actor is notable for playing dangerous characters throughout his career, but John Turturro felt he was the right man for the job.
It's just a delight to work with him. So it's easy if you have a strong feeling towards someone already as a person.
Turturro was the first to join Severance, and he pitched Walken to creator Dan Erickson and director Ben Stiller. They were excited and approved the idea immediately. Off-set, Turturro and Walken don't hang out much. Both have decades-long successful marriages in the industry. Still, they light up when they're on set together, or even just on a video call. Christopher once commented on their conversations.
People think actors talk about motivation in acting. Mostly they talk about cooking, movies, and sometimes girls.
Turturro even had a wild idea, turn their conversations into a book called Talkin' and Walken. But unfortunately for the fans, Christopher shot it down. Would you like to read a book like that? Write in the comments. Adam Scott as Mark Scout. From the moment Severance creator Dan Erickson began writing the script, Scott's name was on his mind. Erickson had seen something special in the Parks and Recreation star, an everyman charm with a layer of quiet complexity. But little did he know director Ben Stiller had the same exact thought when Severance landed on his desk. The problem? Apple TV Plus was hesitant to cast Adam, feeling he lacked distinctiveness. After a year of debate, X's agreed to consider Scott, but only if he auditioned. The actor didn't let ego get in the way. He auditioned, locked in the role, and as a result, received an Emmy nomination. This fall, Scott and Stiller have launched the Severance podcast, where the duo breaks down every episode of the show. But this isn't Adam's first ever podcast. He's co-hosted a hilariously nerdy podcast where he and comedian Scott Aukerman obsess over music legends like U2, Springsteen, and R.E.M. Fun fact, Scott once appeared as an extra in R.E.M.'s Drive music video, so it's no surprise that Adam's hobbies found their way into the Ben Wyatt character on Parks and Rec.
You're a nerd in a lot of ways. Like, you're obsessed, but like, you're obsessed with things in a way that is infectious.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you're right.
But Scott is not only a music geek. He's a fan of many things, including Star Wars. Even Mark Hamill himself surprised Scott with his appearance in one of the episodes of Jimmy Kimmel Live. It seems like people around Scott like to give him unexpected gifts. During the filming of Severance Season 2, Adam was working in New York, while his family was in LA. So he FaceTimed constantly with his wife Naomi Sablin and their two kids, daughter Frankie and son Graham. Frankie sparked the fun of capturing hilariously awkward screenshots of her dad during these calls.
So this past year, they made a calendar of all those photos. They collected them and made a calendar.
This is some of the screenshots right here.
While Stiller calls Scott's performance as Mark the beating heart of the story, we wonder whether he will receive another nomination for his brilliant performance in Season 2. The cast also features exciting new additions like Gwendolyn Christie, Aaliyah Shawkat, and Bob Balaban. Who is your favorite from the Severance office staff? And what theories about the plot do you have? Share in the comments.